I'm drinking Waterloo.
Waterloo.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'll rock your world, man.
It's I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's okay. It does the trick. Um
Michael M. Let's go.
yeah.
Let's go, bro.
Hey.
Hey,
I
Robert.
Waterloo interesting, like Waterloo's an Austin-based company.
Yeah.
So I live in Austin, right? And I didn't realize, but Austin used to be named Waterloo. That was
Really? I
the
wonder
name
why
of
they changed it.
there was a little small little village on the bank of the Austin lake, like one of the rivers. I guess it's not the Austin River because they built the dam and then renamed everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, they called it Waterloo. I think Waterloo was the name of the river, maybe.
So
So
some governor named Austin bought it or whatever.
Stephen Austin, he's one of the big Texans that's honored. Texas loves Texas. Texans love Texas. That's for sure. I moved here and I'm like, yeah, Texans love their Texas.
Dude,
100%.
there's so much money down there too. When I did a DoD job and I did Houston, Dallas, Austin.
Yeah.
Dude, it's such a good mix of people and culture, and the food's good. I went to the nursery. You
Hmm.
seen that Salt Bay guy? He's like throwing salt on meat and stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. You're not a big social media guy like that. So like, there's this guy's always throwing salt on meat and stuff. I went to his restaurant, and it was great, man. Yeah,
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 it's good stuff. I like it. I like Austin. It's kind of
yeah,
fun. It's a fun place to live.
yeah.
So, all right, this is for everybody. How many people? Oh, we only have a few right now, so hopefully we'll have more trickle in. But so here's the thing. First of all, Tim, thanks again for being on.
Of course.
We'll talk through a few things. I thought it'd be fun today to go through and like some Reddit questions. You said you're not on Reddit.
Not on Reddit, man. I was, but it was a long time ago, man. I became a keyboard warrior for a minute.
What does that have to do with Reddit? Like,
I just got off because I was like becoming toxic to Reddit. Like
oh,
conversations show up and people are
yeah,
like, because I used to be deep in the forums back in the day. So people come up and they're like, "Hey, I have a question about this," and I'm
yeah.
like, "How do you not know this?" Ta-da. Like I'm like typing stuff. I was a horrible person.
Come on, you dope.
Yeah, how do you not know this? Did you not go to kindergarten?
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
Yeah.
I love Reddit. I get sucked in all the time. I have to take Reddit breaks. Like I'm not a social media guy. Like I'm not on social media a lot. I hardly go on Facebook or anything else. But Reddit, like it is
It's
there's
dangerous,
something about Reddit. And I like the fact too that there's not some algorithm trying to control what I have to see. I think I like that a
man.
lot too. But
Mhm.
there's a few subs in on Reddit that are oriented to traders, and a lot of times there's some good questions that come out of it. So we'll do that. And
Yeah.
then you and I had a really good conversation earlier this week about creating an execution process.
Yeah.
So we'll talk through that too.
Okay.
Okay, because I think that would be really helpful for people listening
Everyone.
in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Before I do that, so this is for everyone. I don't pitch a lot, so I'm gonna make my kind of my last my my last pitch of the year, probably one of my few
Worth
ones.
it.
So
Yeah.
this so here's the thing. So I run a program. I think it's a great program. I think a lot of people think it's a great program. I'm really proud of the work that I do in my coaching with traders. One of the things that I'm doing next week is something, totally different, which is I'm creating a workshop, or I've created a workshop that will teach a more mechanical oriented trading system. Okay, it's called the box trading system. It has another nickname, but I'm not even going to mention that because I don't want people to like use the nickname. So
Yeah.
it's called the box, and it's highly mechanical. You've been trading it, Tim,
Yeah.
right? This is the first thing I taught you after you learned, some other stuff,
I
right?
learned how to ruin myself.
You learned
Yeah.
how to ruin yourself, and then I taught you the box.
This is legit. Yeah. You can't get this kind of information without you, like Taylor, without you showing me this. it'll take 30 years to learn this stuff. Like there's just stuff you're not going to recognize unless you're just studying the market every day for 12 hours a
Yeah.
day. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a cheat code.
And you did good with it. So I think you passed your first combine, and I know
Yeah.
we've talked about your violating rules since then that resulted in the loss of that, but that's a whole other story, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So the reason I'm doing this is for a couple reasons. So one is I want to give people another set of rules that have an edge to work with. Because one thing I'm finding in my coaching is I coach a lot of traders who are in a more discretionary based system, and they're struggling a lot because, with a discretionary system, you'll have a signal, but you'll have maybe three counter signals. You're like, yeah, this says I should get in. These two things say I shouldn't. I'm not really sure what I should do.
Mhm.
And then you get all the mind drama, and then it becomes really problematic, right? So this is a very mechanical system. It's very clear rules, right? I mean, you can attest to this. It's very
Very clear.
simple.
Follow it. Yeah.
Yep. And if you follow it, then it's gonna, it's gonna be good. Here's so these are I gotta move stuff around here. All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully people can see that. Oh, let me just hide this really quick. Zoom this up. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is about that's over 100 trades. I'm doing back testing with it, just validating and verifying the rules, right? So it has a win rate of about 57%, but this is what's really important is this R value. So R is another measurement of how you can look at profitability of a system. And when you're net positive R, then you are always going to gain. You're always going to have a winning system. And when you're dealing with R, you want to make sure you have a good, healthy win percentage because it can be hard to trade. So I know there's probably systems out there. Some people are like, "Why I have 70% success rate?" That's great, but this has an R value of 147. I think the average R per trade is about 2 to 1. Might be closer to 3 to 1. So it's a great system. And so the other reason I'm doing this is I want to help traders learn how to follow a specific set of rules and gain that real discipline, right?
Yeah.
Like that's something that you and I've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do when you have a discretionary system, but when you have a very clear set of rules that's more mechanical, then it's a lot easier to do this kind of workshop that I'm going to do, where we're going to actually really what we're going for is, can you trade these rules 5 times in a row and then do it do it 5 times again and then 5 times again. So 3 sets of 5 is what we're going to go for.
Okay.
Because if you can do that, then you're gaining confidence in yourself, you're gaining confidence in your system, right? So it's more oriented around training you to be disciplined while also giving you, kind of a little bonus edge at the same time, right? So I don't know that this is gonna, like, for those who are in my consistency accelerator program now, you're gonna have access to the program. As long as you join by the end of the year, you'll have access to it. But January 1st, anyone who joins after January 1st, I don't know that I'm going to give access to the workshop recordings. So, just keep that in mind. This is kind of a bonus benefit for people who are, who I'm coaching this year. And maybe it'll be a separate program down the road, but right now, that's how we're doing it. So would love to have you join the program, be part of the workshop next week, and, elevate your trading a bit. So.
And I just want to say this too. Like, I think a lot of traders, I'm relatively new to trading. Like, I've been doing this for almost 6 months.
Yeah.
And like total, like from beginning, I've never traded in my life. A lot of traders think they have an edge.
Yeah.
Like I've met friends and whatnot. They're like, dude, this is my edge. I'm like, that's not an edge, dude.
Yeah.
Wait, what you have is a real edge. Like that's like,
Yeah.
I think people have probably been trading for, for 5, 6, 7 years, think they have an edge. And I'm like, that is not an edge. Like this is literally like, it's proven. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what an edge is. It takes for a long time to get something like this.
Yeah. So Michael Mike was on the live stream a few weeks ago, and he took a GC trade today with the box. So the box system. Mike knows the box system. I got it out to a few people early to kind of get feedback on, am I teaching the rules clear enough? Like it's more validation of like, am I doing the right things here with it? Mike loves it. This is how he's trading. Bob, good question. So you joined the MFT subscription service. Is this part of that? So welcome to the MFT community. So, for those who are, not, listening into my channel, I'm the coach in the market flow trader community, and we have a subscription, and it includes Patrick's trading approach. So Bob, this is what you have. You have access to Patrick's trading approach, which is, the discretionary approach that you see Patrick trade every day on YouTube. You have access to Revan's live stream, which he has a different approach. It's similar to Patrick's, but it's different. Has different set of rules. And then you have access to the basic part of my consistency accelerator program. So it's just kind of the basics of edge process mindset. So I have an advanced consistency accelerator program where we go deeper. We have weekly, coaching calls, 2 to 3 times a week. I do these kinds of workshops, right? So that it is kind of an add-on thing beyond the subscription. So welcome, glad to have you part of the subscription. This may or may not be a good fit for you, and that's fine. No worries. That's my pitch. I'm not like one of those. I don't like being like that sales guy, like I'm like, join me if you want. I seriously think I have a great product, but I'm like, I'm not going to be the guy that's like, you have to do this.
Yeah.
maybe I need more of that. I need that sales juice. Right?
No, you don't. No. we have enough of that in today's time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Reddit. Let's talk about Reddit. All right. Actually, let's do yours first, because I think this is really relevant for what we're talking about with the box stuff.
Okay.
So why don't you frame a little bit of like what precipitated our discussion earlier this week? What was going on?
So you have to.
What was your problem? Like, what were you struggling with?
Discipline. Mm-hmm. Guys, basically, I was trading this past week, and things just weren't going well for me. I was like, kind of discouraged a little bit, and I'm like, what is going on here? So then I hit up Taylor, and sorry, I just saw like this big check thumbs up on my screen. But anyway, I hit up Taylor. So I shoot him a message. I'm like, dude, I need help with discipline. And I'm realizing that this whole trading thing, it's so much more than just trading and having a process, dude. It is. If you are not a disciplined person, you told me this before we got started.
I warned you.
You warned me this, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I've worked jobs, like I did finance for Mercedes and everything. I'm like, yeah, no biggie. When you are trading, if you have a discipline problem, it will show up very quickly. And that's one thing. Like, I was in a trade, and it was going up, right, guys? It was going up, and it started going back down. It started going bearish, and it was supposed to be going bullish. And I got out. I sold. And I was like, because I'll just rather take like $100 profit. After that, as soon as I sold, I'm like, it's like the market knew I sold. It just went. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. Like, that's ridiculous. And then I also messed up an account. I was trading, and I should have stayed in, and I didn't. So it was going close to my stop loss. And right when it's getting to that position, I'm freaking out a little bit. So I go ahead and I sell, and I shouldn't, because it went all the way back up. So I took that loss for that day, and I was like, dude, I just need discipline. Like, it really showed me. So I got to the point where it was so bad. I called Taylor strictly for a discipline lesson. Like, I was like, how are you so disciplined?
Dude, no, it went beyond that. And I think a lot of traders can totally get this. You're like, I said, what's wrong? And you're like, oh, I got a discipline problem. I said, okay, like you're not following your rules. He's like, no, it's everything in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
all of a sudden, all of a sudden it became this like, it's not just a discipline with my trading. It's everything in my life is broken with discipline.
Yeah, everything. Like when I did that with the stuff that happened in trading, I was like, wait, that's why this is like this way in my life? Like
Yeah.
because of that
Yeah.
mindset, it's that same beast that you do in your own life when you shouldn't be going out and you go out, or you shouldn't, you're on the highway and like you've been here in Georgia, you got Georgia 400, it's a
Yeah.
straight shot. Me, I'm like 90 miles an hour is fine on 400. You can see a cop from a
Yeah.
distance. No, you get busted every now and then. They know you can see them. So like it's that discipline thing of taking that risk.
Yeah.
And it just all ties up. And then trading, it just magnifies it
Yeah.
because it's right in front of you immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I think one of the things that we talked about early on when you were first getting into this was I told you, I said, the market is going to put a magnifying glass on every weakness,
mhm,
on every deficiency, on every mental challenge that you have in your life.
yeah.
Like there's things under the surface that we don't even always recognize that the market will suddenly put a magnifying glass on and realize, holy crap, this is a problem I have, and I didn't even realize I had a problem until the market showed me I have a problem, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, discipline, yeah, absolutely. um so how to go with the conversation we had?
Dude, it went great because you're such a solid mentor. Like you're so good at it. Like Taylor, I'm into like the mental stuff because my background growing up, like I say, I grew up poor, man. So like there's so much anger and stuff from whatnot and things not going my way. So I got into understanding like the mental and how important it is to stay in control of your brain. Like you can get sick from stress, you
Yeah.
know? So when I met you this year, I've only known you for like 6 months. It's crazy, man. And you have guys, if you haven't met Taylor in person, this dude is like one of the most like his energy will warm the room. It's insane. Like bro, you have something. I don't know what it is. The grass is greener in the back of Kat's family's house ever since you left. Guys, there was like a patch of bald spot in the back of my girlfriend's house, and it's cleaned up in wintertime since you left. It's like, wow. Taylor was sitting right there. That's what happened.
Oh my gosh, I made the grass
I'm
grow.
not kidding. Anyway, guys, look. So you have this thing that you've mastered and accomplished over time, and you love still learning. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, let me hit up Taylor. Then you gave me some pointers. You kind of gave me, you guided me exactly. You're good. You're good. We kind of understand things the same way. Everybody does things differently. We understand things
Yeah.
the same way. So, yeah, you kind of gave me a free lesson. I feel like I owe you money for that, man. That was great.
Well, that's my job. I'm your coach.
Yeah.
I like aside from the feelings that you have around discipline for the rest of your life, right? We talked a little bit about that, right? But when it came to the trading stuff, we really kind of focused in on so whenever we're having a problem with something not right with our trading, there's really we go back to okay, so this is my model. My model is edge, process, mindset. Okay, it's always one of those three.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's maybe a combination. Okay, so when you're struggling with something going on with your trading, the first thing to ask is my edge right? Okay, do I have an edge? So that's problem number one.
Yeah.
Once you can answer that, and you can answer that affirmatively, right?
Oh
Your
yeah.
system has edge, right?
Mhm.
You've seen it,
100%. See it, done it. Yeah.
accessed it, you got it,
Yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
You know
Yeah.
the numbers.
It works. Yeah.
So then we go to process and mindset. And I'll be honest, guys, like mindset's the harder thing to tackle. Um, I have specialized mindset coaching um, training. And so I can work with people to get through a lot of the mindset humps. But a lot of times I want to start with process. And a process change could be a gap fill for something happening on the mindset side. right?
Yeah.
So clearly, we could have, Tim, gone through and probably figured out like what's the mindset challenge that's that's causing you to not be disciplined, right? Or to miss trades or to take trades that you shouldn't take. But instead, we focused on the first, solution level here, which is what's happening in your process that maybe we can improve that first. And then if that doesn't work, then let's start working on the deeper mindset issues,
Yeah.
right? So we talked a lot about, from a process perspective, we went through some trades, right?
Yeah.
And what'd you learn through that experience?
Dude, I learned that I wasn't following the process. Like,
You didn't have a
no,
process.
what it is, guys, when he first showed me, when you first showed me the setup, I adapted it and I was doing right. I was doing correct. And I
Yeah,
passed my combine and it was 3 or 4 trades. I can't remember. It was like 3 or 4 trades. So I passed the
yeah,
combine. I was so confident in it. I was like, yo, this is gonna work. That's exactly what happened. It works. So when that happened, a week passed because I passed it in 2 days. I passed the combine in 2 days. I was trading heavy. I passed it in 2 days, and I didn't realize. I totally forgot you have to trade for 7 days with Apex before
mm,
you have to have 7 trading days on paper. So I waited like a whole week, and then realized that, oh wait, I have to actually have 7 days of trading. So I went back and traded. So there's 2 weeks of me not doing anything. And when I trading, I wasn't even trading, guys. Like I was doing like micros, just throwing one micro in. Like who cares, you know? I already passed it. I wasn't trying to blow the account. So after like 2 weeks of not trading, I didn't do any back testing or anything like that. I wasn't doing any like that back testing. I was just kind of feeling great. I'm like, dude,
no
we're about
practice,
to make
right?
millions. Like, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's take a 2 week break. Let's go do some fishing, you know? And when I came back, I completely forgot the process, not understanding that I did. So when I started trading, I wasn't following the rules and things were like completely not showing up the way it should. I was like, wait,
yeah,
why did I get stopped out by 3 points? You know,
yeah,
yeah, like why did that happen? And then I forgot. Yeah, when we put our stop loss, we go 2 ticks above that, and that would have cleared it. You know,
yeah,
so it's like all that happened, and then it just got so frustrating. I'm like, this thing is not working, but it is
yeah,
working because I'm in a group text and I see other people having like success. Like Mike is absolutely killing it. You know, so I'm like, I'm doing something wrong here. And then I hit you up. We go over
yeah.
a couple things, and I was off on everything. You were like, "Tim, where do you put this?" I was
No,
like, "Right there." And you're
we
like,
were retraining.
"Yeah, yeah." And you're like, "No, it
Yeah,
doesn't go there." And I'm like, "All right, there." And I sounded like an idiot, you know.
yeah.
So
Yeah, the thing is, it's not enough to have the rules, right? It's
no,
not enough to have a set of rules to trade. You have to create So here's the way that I define process. So when I'm coaching, the way I define process is the process is everything that you do in your life to execute that set of rules.
yeah,
And that can include what you do in the morning to prepare. That could include doing meditation, but it could also include what kind of orders you put in. It could include, following a checklist to actually execute. And that's kind of what we focused on. It wasn't really a checklist, but it was a process flow, right? So we built out a process flow that said, okay, step number 1, do you have an entry according to your rules,
yeah,
right?
yep.
And now I'm going to quiz you, Tim.
Oh my gosh,
Step number 2.
dude, don't make me. I have it written down, man. Don't make me do this. All right, hold on. You want me to go
Step
find it?
number
Let me.
2. 222. Come on.
Based on entry, do we have the right stop loss?
You can cheat. You can use your notes.
Yeah, I'm
It's
using
okay.
notes. I'm literally on notes right now. So is entry correct is number one. Number two, I read this every morning. I should
Good. It's
memorize, right?
fine. It's fine. Use your note. Open
Yeah,
book. Open book.
yeah. And then three, is your take profit correct? That's just for me, right? That's
Well,
just
number
what
2.
we
What was number 2? I didn't hear you.
based on entry, do we have the right step, the right stop loss?
Right. Based
Like
on your entry, because depending on where you enter for this system, you might have a different place of where you put your stop loss, right? So that's number 2.
yeah.
Number 3,
Number three is gonna be, is our take profit correct?
yes.
Yeah.
So with this system, this is the one that's going to be in the workshop, you always have a stop loss and you always have a take profit target,
Hmm.
right? We don't enter unless we have both. some systems you might have a little feeling about where you want to exit, not this one. Okay.
Yeah.
And then 4
is, do we have take profit correct? So number 3 is our take profit correct? And then number 4 is, do we have take profit correct?
Is that right?
That's what I have.
Do we have the take profit correct?
Yeah, that's what I got down.
Or do we have R? Do we have enough R?
So that's R. Yeah.
Yes. So do we have enough
Sorry, guys.
R?
So that's what it means for me.
Right. Oh, okay.
We
Okay.
just did this yesterday.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, it's
So
for
we refreshed
interpretation.
this
Yeah.
yesterday,
Yeah.
but that's what it means to me as the R. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have enough R
Yeah.
to enter the trade? And the minimum R is 3R for the system.
Yep.
And then number 5 is what?
I don't know. I don't have 5.
Oh, I should give you number 5. Number 5 is, if you don't have enough R, where do you need to move your entry
Yeah.
and your stop loss?
Yeah. I didn't write it down. That's what 5 is. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
And I just want to add that with this setup, like if you do everything correctly, it's the reason why you have to practice it, Taylor, and this is what I learned by myself, is that you have to practice it because otherwise the numbers, like I guess like if you do things wrong, now the rest of the numbers are thrown off.
Yeah.
Like if you cheat your trades and whatnot, it throws everything off. So this is pretty consistent setup. If you change everything is off. So you have to just follow it, and that's where the discipline comes, so you don't mess up your account.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. So this is the exercise over the next little while, is for you to kind of have front and center this process flow for how you're going to execute each trade, and then measure yourself, right? Are you measuring yourself each day? How did you do in following this process, right? And then you can kind of take a look and say, okay, like, do I still have an issue here? Because if you still have an issue, now let's talk about the mindset behind it. Now let's see what is preventing what's in your mindset that's causing you to still violate this process that you've put in place, right?
Yeah.
So process, like we put process up, think of them like on a road. The process is the guardrails, right? We're just trying to put guardrails up as much as possible so that we stay in on the road, right? And it's when we go off the road that bad things happen, and that's the mindset stuff, right? Yeah. So those are bigger things to deal with for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right, I love it. Okay, Bob, you asked 4 days in, still going through the master class. Is it too soon for me to consider this? It depends. So that's a good question. It depends on where you are overall with your trading. Like if you're a brand new trader, just continue with the material there for another month, and then, look at the consistency accelerator. If you're coming in with as an experienced trader where you've already been trading, and you've developed a little resume of mindset challenges and whatnot, then you might want to join the consistency accelerator program and get the coaching, because we do coaching every week, right? So a lot of it depends on where you're at with your own personal trading. So if you want to DM me in the Market Flow Trader community, just DM me. Happy to talk you through kind of if this is the right decision, the right timing for you. So sounds good. Catherine, spot on all the stuff around mindset. Yeah, mindset for me, it took me years and years and years and years. And it wasn't until I got my own coach, I got my own mindset coach. And my coach was awesome. She didn't know anything about trading. It was really funny because I talked to her and she's like, well, I don't know anything about trading, but I know how to help you manage your mind. And I'm like, well, this is awesome. So, because I need to know how to manage my mind. And so she was really great. And then I became a coach. I went through training and did all that. So I've loved it. It's been great. You're spot on that mindset is everything. And again, with your last question there, DM me. So let's talk through what you might need. Okay. So happy to chat. Cool. All right. You guys can keep asking questions. So I'll keep answering questions as long as they're there. Let's go to Reddit. Ha ha ha. I
Right.
love Reddit. Does anybody else get sucked into Reddit? Like, is it just me?
Taylor, have you ever seen the Reddit stories like on YouTube? You ever seen those?
They have Reddit stories on you now. Okay, so now combining my two favorite things, Reddit and
Yeah,
YouTube, like,
there's
oh my gosh,
uh,
that's gonna kill me. Okay, all right.
yeah, Marek. Yeah, you heard.
Oh, by the way, for sorry, Bob and Catherine, this is the link because you guys were asking about it. And then this is what the page looks like over here. So this is the sign up page on Market Flow Trader. So I'll show that link at the end as well, or you can take a screenshot and go hit that. All right, but let's go to Reddit because Reddit is awesome. Boom, boom. All right, let me
Marek,
get.
that's definitely go check out Taylor stuff. DM Taylor if you need to, because yeah, what he has is he's got it, man. Go see Taylor. So he'll
All
take
right,
care of it.
thank you. Thanks for the endorsement. I love it. I love getting endorsements. It's so much easier when other
Well, it's
people
real.
sell for you.
Yeah.
Oh my word. All right. So Reddit is fun because there's all kinds of fun stuff that comes up. And I was just like flipping through the other day. There's one I'm going to show because I actually I sent you this other one the other day and because I thought it was really funny. But then I saw this one today, which I thought was really hilarious. All right. What do you think? Managing anger or getting a punching bag?
What are your thoughts to manage anger? Let's see. You business pretty
Wait,
bad strategy.
how would you answer this Reddit? What do you think?
Dude, I can tell you this. I've turned my bed into my punching bag several times.
Oh,
Like, it's really good to learn how to control it, right? Because what happens, just my answer, lately, I have learned that when you take out your anger on the situation, you're going to train your brain to do that. Like,
yeah.
so when you get mad, you're training your brain
Oh,
and
beautiful answer.
it's energy that's exerted physically.
Hmm.
For the first time in a while, I was like extremely frustrated with trading. Like I like I pretty much tossed my phone across the room.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And I actually the next time that happened, I was so mad that I just sat here in this exact spot on my computer right here. I just sat here and I was like, I just like harnessed the energy and I felt so great after because I didn't blow that energy beating up beating up my pillow, putting my elbow into my pillow. So I recommend definitely controlling anger. Save that energy.
I love it. I love it. I'm going into my YouTube because I think I did a video on this. Um, yeah, I think I have a video on this. Hang on, and I think it's a good video. Let's see. How do you? Um, I think it's this one. Um, it might be this one or hang on, emotions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably
Yes, it's this one right
yeah.
here. 4 responses to strong emotions. Okay. So it's this is the video to actually answers this question. Here's the thing. Your answer spot on, Tim. I love it. You're there. We have several different ways that we can deal with an emotion, and 3 of the 4 well-known ways are not healthy. So when we resist an emotion, when we react to an emotion, when we avoid an emotion, those are the big 3, and we do that stuff all the time and it's never healthy for us. Like reacting would be getting a punching bag, it'd be taking your keyboard, throwing it across the room, breaking your monitor, right? That's reacting. And just like what you said, like we're training ourselves to repeat that behavior, right? We're remember, like there's neuroplasticity that's happening in your brain. I talk a lot about the brain and brain science. Neuroplasticity is really important for us. because that's what is reconnecting all of our, stuff going on in our brain. And we don't want to create connections, hardwire these connections that result in these, kind of, I'm not even making a judgment about the behavior, but you're never going to get the results you want by reacting, by avoiding, or resisting emotions. Okay. It's only through processing your emotions appropriately is where you're going to get the best benefit for you. Right. And I do coaching on that. And there's probably some videos in there that talk about, how do you actually go through and process strong emotions. As traders, we have a lot of strong emotions. We need to learn this skill. So just like this is where I talk about mindset as a skill. It's not a knowledge thing. A book on mindset is not going to get you to have good mindset. You have to create the skill that's necessary to manage your mind, right? It's a skill. It's not just something that you learn. And so this skill of processing emotions is really important. So I would say, no, don't get a punching bag. Learn how to process your emotions,
I
right?
think too, it's important to remember that, if you're going to take this as a career in trading, this is going to be a frustrating, not frustrating, a challenging career choice, no matter what, even with the process and everything. Like, it's going to be that way. So, do you want to live your life with not knowing how to deal with something that's like that? You probably want to learn how to deal with that, because you're going to be doing this for a long time, especially if you become
Yeah.
successful with it. Yeah, you want to make sure that you don't. You'll see salesmen. I grew up in sales. You'll see old salesmen. These guys are like losing their hair and everything, right? They're totally stressed out. But
Yeah.
if they knew how to handle the stress better, well, you keep your full head of hair when you're 50 years old, and that's why Taylor has such good hair, because he's learned how to manage it.
My beautiful hair. I love it. All right. Let's see. I like this one too. Have you heard of something like this before? Why do I only take short positions?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one, but that's something, dude. That's something with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a mental thing.
I've had that. I've had two guys now in the consistency accelerator program that were stuck on one side or the other. So one guy was like, I only take long positions. I don't know why. I really struggle to take short positions. And the other one was the inverse. I can only take short positions.
Yep.
Right. This is a mindset block. There's something around the minds. So like this can't necessarily be resolved by edge and process, a little bit through edge, right? Gaining confidence that taking the other side has a profit factor in your favor. So yeah, there's some edge work to do, right? There's probably some process fixes, but the heart of this, and Catherine said it earlier, everything is kind of comes back to mindset.
Yeah.
Um, there's a mindset block here. There's a reason, and there's some feeling you're getting by wanting to go in one direction and only one direction, right? You're pursuing that feeling. Maybe it might be related to you used to be a long-term investor, and long-term investors only go long. And so you had really good success building your portfolio because you were just holding long positions. And now it's like, ooh, I don't know if I can go long. Or going short, you might have had some really great experiences going short where you had some quick wins that reinforced some of that neuroplasticity for you, right? So this is 100%, something going on with the mindset that you kind of have to evaluate, right? It's tough. You've never had this, right? Because you came in fresh, and so
I,
you didn't come with any sort of baggage around something like this.
Not that, but I realized that, pay attention to how, sometimes you'll say this in your brain, it's going to go up or it's going to go down, but the way you say it, pay attention to the way you do it, because you realize this is not a positive or negative thing, it going up or down. It is just a movement that you're just paying attention and you're making money
Yeah,
off of this, right?
yeah,
So what happens? Some people say when it's going to go up, they say, "Dude, it's going to the moon," like whatever. Like they'll say it like that, and some people say, "Oh, it's going to go down,"
yeah,
like that. Realize the way you're saying it is an emotion to that,
yeah,
and that, like, you have to be careful, because it should just be, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, and this is why, and this is why. Like, you have your process, right? But
Yeah.
pay attention to how you say things. Some people have like a positive reasoning. So based off of what you're drinking or how you're feeling that day, you might be like, dude, it's gonna go up, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that's how it's gonna go. And if you're feeling bad, oh, dude, it's going down. All day
Yeah.
it's going down. Pay
Yeah.
attention to that. Yeah.
The other thing I want to call out on this one is when you do this, and when I say you, I'm talking to everybody here. When you ask a question like this, why do I, and then whatever the rest is, right? The answer is usually, well, first of all, you probably know the answer, so you might be just in denial over being honest and vulnerable with yourself of admitting what the answer is. So let's recognize that. We do that all the time, right? I don't know why I'm so bad at this, right? Yeah, you kind of do, right? We know. The other thing that might be happening if we truly don't know, right? And this person may truly not know. The other thing that might be happening is that there is an underlying belief that our system one brain is attaching to, right? So I'm only taking short positions because there's some underlying belief that I haven't addressed, right? This is what I was saying. Like this is a mindset issue. Either you're denying what you actually know, or there's an underlying belief that you haven't pinpointed and dealt with and decided if you want to keep that belief, right? So that you can move on past this particular kind of limitation, right? So trying to uncover these hidden underlying, beliefs that don't serve us is a really big part of the mindset work as well. So anytime you're asking yourself, why do I, or how come I, ask yourself first, like, do I really know? And I'm just not willing to say out loud what I know, because, solve that problem. And then the other thing is like, okay, well, if I really don't know, what's happening inside, like what belief is this particular thought attached to? And I think that will help you kind of pinpoint some of these things, right? um the shameless plugs, oh sorry, BV. What are the shameless plugs? What are the shameless plugs? I don't know what the shameless plugs are.
No idea. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
All
He'll
right.
respond, or she.
All right. Let's see. What's the other one we've got going on here? Professional traders are trading. Is this the one that I sent you? No, I sent you one over here that I liked. Oh, yes. Tips for being a good loser. All right. How would you approach this one? Tips for being a good loser, Tim.
Let me read this real quick. Yeah, context. Yeah, this is something a lot of people are going to deal with, and I did too. Yeah, so this is something that has happened to me recently many times, because the NQ has a lot of volatility. Even the CL will move differently when the NQ kind of follows the ES a little bit, but it has more, or maybe the ES follows the NQ, but definitely NQ has more volatility, and the CL has its own movement. So what happens is that the testing that I've done, my back testing, and the work that I've done is mainly in the ES, and that's what Taylor kind of got me into. And yeah, you'll go to the NQ sometimes, and you'll go over there trying to make some money. Sometimes you'll make money there, right? Like sometimes you'll get in on a trade, make it quick, whatever, and you're training yourself again. Like you're training yourself to not stick to the plan. To not stick to the plan. You don't want to do that. You kind of want to stay focused and make sure that you're doing
What do
the
you,
right thing. And yeah, you don't want to go off that.
what do you think it means? What do you think it means to be a good loser? Like what is that about?
Uh, I guess just like not letting your mental get to you, not letting your mental get to you, knowing when to walk away, because a lot of times you don't want to walk away. A lot of times
Yeah.
you, you can start your day off wrong. Like sometimes I'll wake up and I'll do the London market, right? I'll get in and I'll make $300, not following my process just because I see where it's going. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm going to make quick money, right? So I get in, do that. You just started your day wrong. You just completely
Yeah.
started your day wrong. And that sets up the rest of the day for failure. And that's usually how it goes. You'll lose that $300 throughout the day,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I look at this and I'm like, okay, what like, okay, I think I've heard this before out there, right? Like in trading, you need to be a good loser, right? And there's another group that I'm part of, and the guy, he's kind of helping, like, I agree with him, like he's changing my own vocabulary when we're talking about, losses.
Yeah.
He calls them expenses. And I'm like, I actually like that. At first I was like, I don't really care. Now I'm kind of like really digging that, because I'm looking at things now more like, hey, I'm running a business.
Yeah.
I have profits and I have expenses. And I have to have expenses in my business in order to gain the profits. So one is I like that approach, first to start out with, right? Which is, like, let's look at ourselves as a business, because when we do I won and I lost, that seems very much more like we're at the casino, right? We're playing a game. This is not a game. This is our business. And it's natural to have expenses that are part of your business. So I think, like, one aspect for me about being a good loser is just recognizing I'm going to have expenses when I follow my edge. And the expenses are natural, they're expected, right? I need to have them. If I don't have expenses, I'm never going to get the profits,
Mhm.
right? It's just a must. Like, you
Yep.
just have to do it. And so there becomes this acceptance of, like, okay, I need to accept that, in this particular system, like we trade the box system, right?
Yeah.
You know, 40% of the time it's going to lose. Maybe 45% of the time
Mhm.
I'm going to have expenses, right? And so those losses become expenses for me. I really like that, kind of flipping the script a little bit about what a loss means to us as traders, that, hey, that's kind of really what it means. Now, here's the caveat. Okay, here's the problem. If you are following your process the way that you should, then this makes all the sense in the world, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not following your process, like if you're constantly violating your rules, then it's a different scenario, right? Like, you are kind of losing, right? You're
Yeah.
losing the battle of being disciplined and following your process, right? But it's a different kind of loss. You still have monetary expenses, so the money stuff we still treat as expenses and profits, but there is a losing aspect, and to me, the losing aspect is when you don't follow your process, right? And you guys have, like, anyone who's coached with me knows, they've heard me say this over and over again. Like, I am way happier when I follow my process, even if I have a red day or a red week. Like, I walk away and I'm like, I killed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I killed it. I absolutely killed it, because I followed my process. This week, I followed my process 100%. It was a mediocre outcome week for me this week, but I'm super excited going into the weekend, because I hit all my process goals 100% this week,
Yeah.
right? And so I feel great going into it.
Takes the stress
So
out of it too.
it does, yeah, it takes the stress out of it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my perspective here on this one. Um, yeah, BV, no worries. It's all good. It's all good, man. Yep, Catherine, a little bit of a shift in perspective. If we can just kind of
The Red
change
Bull.
the way we talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Waterloo, man.
Yeah, it's
Waterloo is the shameless
Red
plug.
Bull. Sponsor us, Red Bull.
Can you imagine if sponsored by Waterloo?
I know, right? Red Bull Trading. Yeah.
I can see Red Bull. This is kind of an extreme profession.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, right. I
Red
want to answer Bob real quick. Bob
Yeah.
said, Tim, are you back testing to develop a new strategy? So, Bob, when I'm back testing, is what Taylor has taught me. He has a process that He's done, I mean, tremendous amount of work on, right? So me as a guy that has gotten to this 6 months ago from never trading, taking a trade in my life, not even knowing how to use like any like trading view. I didn't even know what that was, you know? So from doing that, the reason why you back test is because you have to, it builds confidence in the process first of all, because if you don't back test, you don't know, you will not gain confidence in it. That's one thing for sure. And that was one of my, like Taylor, that was one of my problems, you know. And you don't understand. So like Taylor is kind of like a, it's kind of like a grandfather, like a dad. He just gave you the shovel, you know, and it's your job to dig, right? Like that's your job. But the thing is, he didn't really explain to me exactly everything. He just kind of trusted me to do the work. And that's exactly what I should have done. So the way I grew up, you always try to cheat the system every way. So I'm like, I don't need to back test. I can just get this thing going and just let it go, let it fly. And what happened when I back test, I was like, oh, okay. So if I don't, so like we do a 3R, we do a 3-to-1 always when it comes to our risk reward. I realized that for you to make a consistent profit, you have to do 3-to-1 because you're going to get losses.
Yeah.
When you
Expensive.
get that, yeah, when you get that win, it clears those losses, it recovers
Yeah.
it. And I just didn't put that together in my head. And that's all it was. So I was like trying to, there's a trade that was looking kind of good. So I'll do, 1-to-1,
You're like, let
and
me
it,
get
it
out
closed
really
everything
quick.
out. Yeah. So that's why I'm back testing, Bob. Yeah. If you do this strategy, I don't care all the rules he gives you, you have to back test, do your own work because it's going to build confidence in it. That's what
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Bob, as you go through my program, like there's a whole, I do a section on back testing specifically. So we back test for a number of different reasons. So reason number one is to validate our existing rules. Okay. So once you have a set of rules, you want to back test and validate that those rules actually have an edge. And an edge is defined as a statistical probability of profit. Okay. And I teach you in the program how you measure your edge. How do you know whether you've actually have an edge? And then how do you do the back testing? So that's one reason you back test. The other reason you back test is to improve your edge. So you're going and you're looking for ways, how do I actually make I call it the hypothetical edge. So how do I make my hypothetical edge, my hypothetical profit factor bigger? And so the third reason that we do back testing is for practice. So just to keep us fresh on observing our setups, practicing our process, right? And so those are the three reasons. Victor, this goes to your question. I use different platforms for different parts of that process. Okay, so I use Sierra Chart for practice because Sierra Chart has a really great tick by tick replay feature. I can build the bar as it actually was built during the live environment, tick by tick as it comes in, or I can speed it up however I want and skip ahead. So it has a lot of granular control over that. When I'm doing optimization work, I use something like TradingView because usually I'm just looking at kind of holistic view of charts as I go back, and I use TradingView for my charting platform. So I use different platforms for different reasons there, depending on what my purpose of the backtesting session actually is. So hopefully that's clear.
And Alan, you're totally right, dude. Like when you trade and you're in the complete wrong direction, dude, that's just like it completely throws your whole day off, right? Because now you're trading with passion. The next trade and everything you take, dude, it takes me off too. But when you have a step in a process, you know why you took that trade. And if it doesn't go right, it happens all the time, right? Like there's times where it doesn't go right, you're like, oh, okay, cool. All right, next entry. You look for the next setup and then you take it. And if it doesn't go right that time either, that's part of it. But when it does go right, dude, everything that went wrong just gets wiped out immediately. That's how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. Alan, I'm going to put my coaching hat on for just a second, and I'm just going to kind of invite you to think about something here. When you're struggling with something like this that happens repeatedly, right? So when you said like when I trade in totally the wrong direction and read the market wrong, right? Like like if it's part of your process, okay, first of all, don't worry about it, right? If it's part of your edge and if your edge proves out that it's good, right? And your edge has statistical probability of profit, then that's something not necessarily to worry about, right? But if you're not following your process, obviously that's a challenge, right? And also, this might be an area of opportunity for you to optimize your edge further by developing an additional set of rules around context, around market context. So, as an example, like you might say, look, I think I can improve my overall system performance if I have additional filters that help me better identify the trend earlier, right? So how do I go about figuring that part out and figuring out that set of rules, right? So you can use this as an opportunity to kind of look as an area to optimize your edge further. And that's where some of that chart and backtesting work can come into play, just to tie it all together. So, all right. Anything else? I think we covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, man.
Reddit is fun. So I had there were some other good ones, but we're going to cap it there. It's Friday. Tim, are we going to meet? I don't think we're going to meet again until January. I think we got the holidays, right?
No, I don't know. Don't tell me that, man.
Should we do one more? Should we do one more?
We should do one more. Yeah. Cause, yeah, things. Yeah. I think we should do one more. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. Everybody, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Just as a reminder, I start the workshop on Tuesday. Super excited about it. Super excited to kind of go through and see how people do with a much more mechanical approach and how well you can actually follow a set of rules in a disciplined way. This would be a good test. So would love to see you guys join and join the rest of our group and get coached. So, or you can just keep enjoying the YouTube channel and come on here and ask me questions. So,
Alan, I'll let Taylor answer that.
I'm gonna have a hard time trusting my edge because not all trades work.
He needs to come to the course, man.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, I want to coach Alan right now.
Yeah, Alan, you need to come. Alan, you need to come to the course because here's the deal. Once you have, it takes a while for you to have an edge. You got to do a lot of testing, right? You have to do the reason why you do back testing is because you're seeing what your edge is by collecting data. Taylor is a data machine. Like if he showed you. This guy used to work for IBM, guys. Like if he shows you what kind of data he has, when I look at that, I'm like, I was never going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Like that's insane. But you have to. So forget your edge. This guy has an edge. Taylor's got an edge, man. Just come to the workshop. Come go DM Taylor.
Alan, if you don't know what your profit factor is for your system, you do not have an edge. That's just the bottom line.
I thought I had an edge when I first started. No.
Yeah.
I think majority of traders have no idea what an edge really is, like a true edge.
Yeah. And if you don't know what profit factor is, and no judgment at all, because most traders actually don't think this way, right? Most traders just go in, they grab a system, they follow someone on YouTube, they start trading because they see that person trade, and they think, well, this system has an edge, right? And so I'm going to trade this system because I see them having success. That doesn't mean you have an edge, because you're going to trade differently. Your process is going to be different. Your mindset's going to be different. So you may not have an edge just because you're trading someone else's stuff who is successful. You have to validate that the rules you're trading actually have an edge. So that's step number one. So it could be your edge, right? And back to what Catherine says, that means it's on you because you didn't put in the work to necessarily do that. And I say you generally, Alan, I'm not saying you specifically, right? Like just, the general scenario here is, right, is that, we have to work. Trading success comes from what we do outside of the trading hours. Okay, that's where the success happens. So just remember that. Yes, Catherine, that would apply to Patrick's system as well. One of the things that I make when you come into the Consistency Accelerator program, one of the first things you have to do is take either Patrick's system or Revan's system, and you have to build a trade plan. So they're going to give you a bunch of rules, and then you're going to have to interpret what those rules mean and clarify what they mean and put down, in a trade plan what it is that means, and then you're going to have to back test it. So yeah, works for Patrick's any system. I'm part of the market flow trader community, but I've got people in there who came, who were trading options, trade futures, trade stocks. Like my program is agnostic to the type of trading. This is about the process of becoming consistently successful, not about trading a very specific type of edge or system. So. All right, you guys, we're going to call it for today. Those of you in the Market Flow Trader community, if you have more questions, you can feel free to DM me. And, you guys have a great weekend. It's Friday. Enjoy. Go have fun.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming.